left everyone speechless. In the heart of Lagos, Nigeria, where dreams are made and broken in the blink of an eye, one woman had everything: wealth, power, influence. Her name was Victoria Langston, CEO of Langston Global, a tech empire worth billions. She lived in a penthouse overlooking Central Park, wore designer gowns, and had everything money could buy except peace. But one ordinary afternoon, something extraordinary happened, a moment so small yet so profound that it would change not only her life but the lives of thousands. It began on a golden autumn afternoon. Victoria had taken her 7-year-old daughter, Emily, to the park after a long week of meetings. Emily, a bright-eyed girl with wild curls and a love for stories, had been struggling in math. Despite private tutors and top-tier schools, she just couldn't grasp fractions. Frustrated and worried, Victoria had begun to wonder if her daughter was falling behind. That day, as Emily sat on the bench, staring at a workbook with tears in her eyes, a small figure approached. He couldn't have been more than 10 years old, barefoot, wearing tattered clothes, his face smudged with dirt, his hair matted from days without a proper wash. He was one of the many homeless children Victoria had seen walking the streets, but this time, something was different. He looked at Emily's worksheet. Then, without a word, he sat beside her. "Emily, I don't get it. Why does 1 2 plus 1 4 equal 3 4? It doesn't make sense." The boy smiled gently. "Boy, imagine a chocolate bar. You break it into 2 equal pieces. You eat one. That's half, right?" Emily nodded. "Boy, now, take the other half and break it into 2 again. Now you have 2 quarters. If you eat 1 quarter, how much have you eaten total?" Emily's eyes lit up. "Half plus a quarter, so 3 pieces out of 4. Boy nodded. "Exactly, 3/4." Emily laughed, a pure, joyful sound. "I get it. I actually get it." Victoria watched from a few feet away, stunned. She had spent thousands on tutors, yet this homeless boy had explained fractions in under 2 minutes, with kindness, patience, and brilliance. She approached slowly. "Victoria, thank you. That was in—" He started to stand, as if expecting to be chased away. Victoria softly, "Wait, please. I'm not going to hurt you. What's your name?" He hesitated. "Liam." "Victoria, Liam, how do you know so much about math?" Liam shrugged. "I used to go to school. Before Mom got sick, before we lost our home." His voice cracked slightly, but he held his composure. "I still read books. The library lets me stay during the day. I like learning." Victoria's heart broke. She looked at her daughter, who was now drawing a picture for Liam: a sun, a tree, and 3 stick figures labeled Emily, Liam, and friends. That night, Victoria couldn't sleep. She kept thinking about Liam, his intelligence, his dignity, his quiet strength. She thought about the millions of children like him, homeless, hungry, forgotten, children with genius in their minds and hope in their hearts, buried under circumstance, and she made a decision. The next morning, Victoria returned to the park with security and a social worker, but not to remove Liam, to help him. They found him curled under a bridge, wrapped in a thin blanket. When he saw Victoria, he flinched. "Victoria, Liam, I'm not here to take anything from you. I'm here to give." She knelt beside him. "I want to help you. I want to get you off the streets, a home, food, school, whatever you need." Liam stared at her, eyes wide. "Why?" Victoria, voice trembling. "Because you taught my daughter something no tutor ever could. You taught her kindness, and you reminded me of something I'd forgotten, what really matters." Tears welled in Liam's eyes. He hadn't been touched with kindness in over a year. That day, Victoria took him to a hotel. She bought him new clothes, shoes, a warm bath. She arranged for a doctor's visit, therapy, and enrolled him in one of the best private schools in the city on full scholarship, funded by her. But she didn't stop there. She started digging into Liam's past. His mother, Clara, had been a nurse. His father had died in a construction accident when Liam was 4. Clara fought to keep them afloat, but after she developed late-stage cancer and lost her job, they were evicted. She died in a shelter 6 months ago. Liam had been surviving on the streets ever since, stealing food, sleeping in alleys, hiding from predators. Victoria wept when she learned the truth. And then she did the unthinkable. She filed for legal guardianship of Liam. The media exploded. Billionaire adopts homeless boy? Is this real or a PR stunt? Critics called her naive. Others accused her of exploiting a child for sympathy. But Victoria didn't care. At the custody hearing, Liam stood beside her, wearing a crisp blue shirt and new sneakers. When the judge asked him how he felt, Liam looked straight ahead. "Liam, I don't want to be alone anymore." "And she listens to me." No one's listened in a long time. The courtroom fell silent. The judge granted temporary custody. 6 months later, after extensive evaluations and bonding sessions, Victoria officially adopted Liam. But the story didn't end there. One evening, as the three of them, Victoria, Emily, and Liam, sat around the dinner table laughing over a board game, Liam looked up. "Liam, can I ask you something?" "Victoria, of course." "Liam, now that I have a home, can we help others like me?" Victoria smiled. "That's the best idea I've ever heard." And so the Langston Foundation was born. Its mission, to rescue homeless children, provide them with shelter, education, therapy, and mentorship, to give them not just survival, but a future. Within a year, the foundation opened its first residential campus, a safe haven in Brooklyn with classrooms, art studios, therapy rooms, and even a rooftop garden. They called it the Haven. They rescued 17 children in the first month. One was a 9-year-old girl who had been living in an abandoned subway tunnel. Another, a 12-year-old boy who had been trafficked before escaping. Victoria didn't just fund the foundation, she lived in it. She moved out of her penthouse and into a modest apartment on the campus grounds. She wanted to be present, to be a mother. And Liam, he thrived. He aced his classes. He joined the school debate team. He started tutoring other kids at the Haven, just like he had tutored Emily. One day, a reporter asked him, "Liam, how does it feel to go from sleeping on the streets to living in a home with a family?" Liam paused, then said, "It feels like someone finally turned the lights back on." But the most shocking moment came 2 years later. Victoria announced she was stepping down as CEO of Langston Global. She transferred 90% of her shares to a trust dedicated to the Haven and similar initiatives worldwide. "I've spent my life building wealth," she said at a press conference. Liam and Emily standing beside her. "Now I want to spend it building lives." The audience erupted in applause. But one moment stole the show. Liam stepped up to the microphone. "Liam, 2 years ago I was invisible. I was cold, hungry, and nobody saw me. But Mrs. Langston, Mom, she looked at me. She saw me, and she gave me a chance." He turned to her, tears in his eyes. "You didn't just save me, you showed me how to save others." The room fell silent. Then, slowly, every person in the audience stood, including the reporters who once mocked her. A year after that, the Haven model was replicated in 12 cities across the U.S. and 3 countries overseas. Over 1,200 children had been rescued, educated, and loved. And Victoria? She was no longer known as the richest woman in tech. She was known as the woman who gave a homeless boy a chance and changed the world because of it. But perhaps the most beautiful moment came on a quiet Sunday morning. Emily, now 10, sat with Liam at the kitchen table, working on math. "Emily, I still don't get this problem." Liam smiled. "Remember the chocolate bar?" Emily giggled. "You always use the chocolate bar." Liam, "Because it works." Victoria watched from the doorway, sipping her coffee. In that moment, she realized she hadn't saved Liam, he had saved her. He had reminded her that love isn't measured in bank accounts, but in moments like a boy teaching a girl fractions under a park tree, like a mother choosing compassion over comfort, like a world that could change, one act of kindness at a time. We often think heroes wear capes, but sometimes they're barefoot boys on park benches and mothers with broken hearts who choose to heal the world, because sometimes all it takes is one moment, one decision, one act of courage to change everything. If this story moved you, share it, like, comment, and subscribe for more heartfelt and emotional